All right, this is a wonderful question from our patrons. And so it was one thing we try to do is we try to take as many questions from our patrons as we can. If we can make a video out of it, basically. Sometimes it's like a yes no, or like in the the answer is maybe not as interesting and it's not like necessarily worthy of a whole video. But this one was a kind of a pretty broad topic, which is maybe you've been in the hobby for a month or you've been in the hobby for 20, 30 years. How do you keep getting better? How do you find ways to continue to improve? Whether that's a motivational question or a legitimate question of finding avenues to actually accomplish those things.
Yeah, lots could be.
Take it away, Jay.
Take it away. This is probably not a super exciting answer. These videos, or these ideas, or comments, or topics, sorry. Short answer is you got to do the thing a lot. Usually, that's probably the one that matters the most.
But I mean, the only interjection I'll make there is that I could go kick a ball behind my house a lot, and I will see some improvement in my soccer.
Sure.
But there will be a limit to what I can do.
True.
As you've seen me play soccer, you would probably agree with that.
I think there's with painting, when we're talking about doing the building, the painting, the hobby thing. There's like anything. There's I guess you could call them like some prerequisite affinity for these skills. But overall, I think it is not. It is something that a good majority, I think, of people can get pretty decent at if they kind of do the repetitions and do a bit of the. Obviously, there's a bit of tech, like learning certain techniques and trying things and using the right tools and whatever. I always refer to the music and instrument analogy is like, again, apart from people that physically have some sort of disability, anyone can learn Mary Had a Little Lamb on every instrument, And if you keep doing it again and again, you probably it'll get progressively better. So I think painting miniatures is in there, and specifically because also like the best part about the hobby thing here is like especially when it comes to just painting a nice looking miniature is like the miniature is the art. It's the sculpture, and you're basically coloring it in. Most of the time we're like it's glorified colored by numbers. Like here's a bunch of steps, put yellow here, brown here, and and just keep within the lines. And I think a lot of today's miniatures, whether they're printed or Games Workshop or whatever, they're so nice. The sculpts are so good. They are done that way, and sometimes we complain they're over detailed. And it's like, if you just paint the details in neatly, the model will look solid. I do feel I'm in that category of people that does feel that like with the painting miniatures, if you just like get some decent tools and do some reps,
Bless you.
It will. We'll keep that in there. We'll edit it out. I think you'll get to a decent level and keep getting better a little incrementally. But the one thing you shouldn't do is never, which I think you'll get into here, is not trying something new every time or almost every time. If you just like, I suppose if you just have the same 10 paints and the same slowly going bad brush and just painted the same ultramarine again and again, like with the same steps, then the level of improving will peak rather quickly.
Right.
You do have to kind of explore, like, what if I did, some other colors and try some blending or something, so. Yeah,
I think my biggest thing, just from taking my own thing into consideration, is like, I had these like phases of my own like hobby development. It was like essentially like the first chunk of phase, which was like my pre-Games Workshop before I worked for the company. So like from like when I was like 11 basically till like 20 or whatever. And the bulk of my learning just came from essentially like self-learning, I guess, which is like buying like the How to Paint Still Miniatures book, going through catalogs, trying to figure that stuff out on my own and following along with instructions, and then just like you said, like just grinding along on techniques and stuff like that. And I think that everyone can get to a pretty decent level just doing that. Where I found my skills kind of start to explode and kind of like really get better was when I sought out like-minded people and like had a like almost like a group that I could like bounce ideas off of and hobby together with, and they all had like the same kind of goals as me. As everyone was into painting, everyone was trying to get better. And I think it's a bit like if you played music by yourself at home forever and you never went out and played with anybody else, or like found a band, or like there's just like a little missing element of like, this is, you're not going to have anyone challenging you or pushing you or even testing your own little abilities, right? So I think that was a key moment for me where I saw what other people were doing, and I learned from other people, and you know, kind of that sharing of knowledge was like really, really important. So my big advice would be like, go out and find like some similar minded people that you hopefully can make friends with. And as a little example, there's a couple guys that are not close to the shop, but they are out in like maybe a couple hours west of us, and a couple of them actually like live in different cities even, and they're all by themselves. Like they don't have any like friends close to them that like are super into painting. I'm talking about like entering Golden Demon, and like they're really into painting and improving and stuff like that. And they just, through like going to some of these events, like befriended a couple people, and they found a way to like form this little like group of friends that like talked every day about painting and like shared ideas, and they get together once a month and they pick a place to hang out, and they all, you know, so that's the thing I'm kind of talking about is like, you know, depending on where you want to be, you kind of have to like surround yourself with people that have like the same goals as you. You know, like,
do, and unfortunately, with miniature painting specifically, there is not really that much. There is some, but there isn't easily an avenue of like, oh. So like if you have kids especially, you know this, you're like, my child is doing some music and learning an instrument, and maybe they're enjoying it, or you want to, you know, after a short time you're going to be like, well, you need a teacher. So you can like pretty easily find one, because like, you know, I don't know, it took me like less than a week to find a piano teacher for my son.
Sure.
You know, that is not really available in the painting world. Specifically, not just someone that can teach you that has the credentials or whatever, or can teach you the thing and to push you, see where you're at, and move you at the pace that works for you, blah blah blah, to get you to a certain goal. But also not in person either, usually. So yes,
yeah, a lot of them are more like the Patreon.
There are
stuff
phenomenal artists that you can subscribe to, but it's purely remote. Or maybe some stars align and you are in their home country, or they're touring somehow, and maybe you get like you spend an exorbitant amount of money to see them for like 2 days or something, and you have to cram all that knowledge in. And anyway,
that's where the cons are actually could become quite a good resource for people. People really like enjoying them if you can actually get to them.
Sure,
they're not bad because you can sign up for stuff there.
My point is more like
that
what Chris previously talked about is like extremely important, because that's probably your best bet. Is like it's gonna be a hard time to find the instructor that is you can just like go see every week or whatever. So you have to rely on like a more communal grassroots effort with other like-minded painters, and to like push for these things and learn things yourselves. It is a bit like it's a craft that really requires self-guidance in a way, and that's kind of unfortunately how it is.
And like you said, luckily there's a lot of self-learning tools available more than ever now. Like you can buy like, you know, those phenomenal books made by AK. The FAQs are absolutely incredible. Like it's a full textbook on learning advanced techniques and stuff like that. I'd probably say you probably need to be at a certain level before you can really start getting at value out of that. So
I think the trajectory, if you're brand new, has to be like, I highly recommend the first phase. I mean, it's arbitrary, it could be whatever you want, but I would say like spend 6 months or a year. Just don't even get extra help. Like just like try and mess around and get some of the basic, like, like I said, getting help with like some tools and
even if you can get like a paint demo at your local hobby shop, or how to apply models.
It could even be something dumb like getting the model and all this stuff, like finding a video of someone doing a small painting a Space Marine captain with these resources, and then you take that and you're just like, I'm gonna try and like do my best to copy this or whatever. And this phase is important because you need to also like learn what your own limitations are, so that you can then look at what needs to be improved. I think going straight to the like, I'm gonna buy all the things, subscribe to the Golden Demon Slayer winning thing, and I'm gonna go do this, is you're gonna crush yourself, because you're gonna quickly realize that you don't have the skill at all, frankly, to do.
It would be like me, we mess around and play tennis, like, like filthy casuals, but like it would be a bit like one of us going and getting like an Olympic tennis player to be our coach right now, before we've had like because you'd probably go into like a regular local club and just get a coach there when you're kind of
it's like levels, right? There's levels of instructor. They're usually the world-class professional coaching level is like they could help you with some things, but their main thing is to take someone who's already very good at it and take them to the top or whatever. Like they're not going to take you or even want it. They're going to be like, you don't even know how to do.
You're just overpaying, basically.
You're paying an exorbitant fee, and frankly, you're both going to be upset and frustrated. They're going to be like, you don't know how to do half the things. So most of what I know how to do is wasted on you. And maybe they've been doing the thing so long and so well that they can't even like go back in time, because it's like you can't ask someone who's like world class at something to like dumb down. They like sometimes they physically can't, because they've just like it's like trying to get some of these musicians to like purposely play a thing wrong, and they can't. They just like
my hand is the guitar.
Their fingers and hands just they're like I can't play the string badly anymore. So I think it makes more sense to find the small local thing and like work your way up. And then for sure, then once and also you need to discover, do I like this? For sure, before you go nuts. And then once you're like find that you're enjoying at the end of the day with miniature painting is like if you paint that first model or two and whatever it looks like, and you're like, I had a lot of fun, then you're probably going to be fine. You're probably going to be like, off you go, right? But if you did that and you're like, I was like, it's frustrating, doesn't look how I want it to look, then you might have that honest conversation. Like, maybe this is
That's a good point. I think that gets to the real question of like, am I trying to get better because I have like this like perfectionist complex, or am I trying to get better because I really enjoy painting and it's something I want to like really explore, right? Because I think those are kind of like knowing yourself, like figuring out what that is about it, right? So, because like the perfectionist complex can be a real hobby killer.
So that is the magic secret ingredient you need way later on. So if your goal is to do that, to win those demon awards or whatever it is, be the best, be the top 1% of painters on earth, you 100% need a perfection disability, whatever you're going to call it, like OCD thing that pushes you, that drives you to do that. But when you have that at the very beginning,
it's very punishing, because it like inhibits learning, right? In a lot of ways, it inhibits learning.
It's like, I wish you could take that and purposely put it like at the end of your journey, and then you just like take off or whatever. But the beginning, it usually hurts a lot. It probably kills more, whatever you want to call it, the potential world class. The guy who could have been the what if scenario. It probably hurts and kills, burns or blows that fire out, ember out, whatever, the fastest. For sure, I encounter these people often that roll in. They want to be good at the thing right away, and part of it is maybe a mental thing where they're just like, I'm good at all these other things, or I want it to look like this, and it's tough. It's tough in this like art. Of course, with the Instagram effect and what you see in the videos, you spend a lot of money on the tools and the supplies, and you're like,
you want almost like a return, right? Like you feel like there should be a return to your money and investment.
Yeah, and then you just can't. It is a bit crushing. advice is to really try and just like accept that the beginning isn't going to look like that. Be open-minded. My other little bit of advice is I generally tell this to people, like, don't repaint that thing. I think it's already such a slog to get yourself through painting those first batch of minis and crossing all those T's and dotting the I's with regards to painting the little details and what colors do I need and blah blah blah. And I find when people go like, oh, I'm just going to strip it and do it again, they're like never happy. Every time you strip the model, it's just like you can't get it all off perfect. It's just getting worse and worse. And you need wins.
That's exactly it. Like, you need to allow yourself the victory of finishing a model and the feel good and the completion and also like what's wrong with having examples of like your progress, right? Like, I think that's a really cool thing to see. Is like, oh, I painted that last year. Look how good I am now. I have this new model painted, right? That one's not bad. It's just where you were at, right?
Sure.
The only last thing I would talk about is like I feel like this is a thing. A huge part of it is like, in order to keep progressing throughout the hobby as you go through these years of being involved in it, I always hear with people like their motivation like coming and going, and like you go through these like burnout phases, and so like it is important to like really stay like in tune with like your like how much energy you have for it, and kind of give yourself breaks when you need to, and try to keep it fun still, because I think if you're like you said, if you're not having fun and you're not enjoying it, there's a lot of people that just hard quit stuff.
There's different ways. So again, depends on your goals. So you should also set yourself like realistic goals. Like, I'm going to get X or Y done or whatever, or try non-metal this piece of this model, etc. I think you also have to diversify your subjects. So if all you do is paint Tyranids, armies of Tyranids, you're gonna probably get like efficient and quick at it, but there is only so many like elements on those models that you can like work on, I guess. Like, you will, if your goal is again to like you want to be good at like painting faces or different types, master certain colors or like non-metal or certain techniques and looks like that subject will limit you. So you do have to kind of like try and be eclectic in like stuff you do. You can't just shoehorn yourself into just painting Space Marines. They may be your favorite models, but I think you do have to. This is why when you like art school is very much like they have courses on like, this is a anatomy drawing course, and then this is like a coloring course, and this is a whatever sculpt. You practice in all these mediums so that you can be rounded, and so I think I see this a little bit. I see sometimes people, they're just like, I need to paint 5,000 points of this, and I'm like, you're gonna burn out. It's eventually not gonna feel like a win anymore. You're gonna limit your own like skill set, so throw in the occasional maybe a new single model comes out and you're like, oh, that's really weird and different. I only paint elves and here's an orc. Okay, do that, to push that, and then maybe go into color, get uncomfortable a little bit. I think it's you pick up a lot of stuff. And sometimes that's where the happy accidents happen. I've had lots of minis that I've had two things. I'm sure you've had this happen where you grab a mini that you're like on looking at it on the preview or in a box. You're like, I want this. This looks so hot. And then you go to paint it and you're like, I hated that.
It was awful the whole time.
Everything was awful about it. The way, because often the problem is you see an image, it's not the same as holding it in your hand and looking at it in all directions and whatever. And at other times you're like, oh, I'm painting this for maybe it's like a group challenge or something, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll do this. And then you like the times where you put the least thought into it and you just go, sometimes those are the best results. You're just like, wow, that worked out real well. I didn't think I would enjoy that, so so you got to diversify your, and you do see in those books you referenced, the AKFAQ books, the different some of those artists, you see they paint a vast eclectic mix of things. Page after page, like, oh, here you're painting like a mech, and then the next page you're painting like a Viking, and the next page is some sci-fi, whatever guy, and so they're able to really push themselves.
Yeah, no, I think that honestly, like I think that gives people a really good base of things to think about. So I think people that are probably pretty new to it have some things they can think about for their future in the hobby. And if you've been doing the hobby a long time, which of those things we mentioned have you relied on to sharpen your skills or to get better or challenge yourself throughout the years? Is there something we missed? Is there something we forgot about? Let us know in the comments so other people can read those things and learn from those things as well. I want to thank you to staying to the end of the video. It means a lot to us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks. Bye.